Authentication is the one thing you cannot afford to get wrong, and yet most teams are paying Auth0 prices that scale with monthly active users, handing their identity layer to a vendor they can never fully audit. Today, 6 open source projects that put you back in control, with real data on stars, licenses, and the honest gaps you'll have to live with.
Before we get to the tools, here's the frame that matters. Auth0 is not just a login box. It's a full identity platform, hosted login flows, OEDC and SAML federation, social connections, anomaly detection, and an actions pipeline where you inject JavaScript at every step of the auth process. When you move to OSS, you need to know which of those features you actually depend on because not all of them transfer cleanly.
Here's the field. 6 projects sorted by GitHub stars: Keycloak at around 35,000, Authelia at 28,000, authentik at 22,000, SuperTokens at 15,000, ZITADEL at 14,000, and Ory Kratos at 13,000. Licenses span Apache, AGPL, and a handful of non-standard files you'll want to read before a commercial deployment.
Let's look at that adoption gap visually. It tells you something important about community maturity.
Keycloak is where most serious migrations land. It's the Red Hat-backed Java identity server that's been in enterprise use for over a decade. OIDC, SAML 2.0, social login, MFA, fine-grained authorization, and a management console that covers essentially every protocol Auth0 supports. Apache 2.0, no licensing drama. 35,000 stars and pushed within the last day at the time we pulled the data.
Here's the honest Keycloak caveat. It's a Java application with real operational weight. JVM tuning, clustering for high availability, a steep admin console learning curve. Auth0's actions, the JavaScript pipeline that runs per login, translate to Keycloak event listeners and script authenticators, which are capable but require more setup. If you have a dedicated platform team and need SML federation with enterprise IPS, Keycloak is the right call. If you're a 2-person startup who just wants social login on a side project, it may be more infrastructure than the problem needs.
Authelia is a different animal. It's not an identity provider in the Keycloak sense, it's a single sign-on gateway you put in front of your services at the reverse proxy level. Jinx, Trafic, Caddy, Authelia sits behind them and protects any app without touching the app itself. 28,000 stars, Apache 2.0, actively pushed.
Authentik is the newest entrant here and the one that earns the most praise for its admin UI. It's a Python-based identity provider with support for OIDC, SML, LDAP, SCM, and Radius, more protocol breadth than you might expect for a younger project. The enterprise license is source available rather than classic open source, so read the current terms before any commercial deployment. The community tier is free.
SuperTokens takes a fundamentally different approach. Instead of a server you configure via UI, it's a set of SDKs, React, Next.js's Node, Python, Go, that you wire into your existing stack. The backend runs as a microservice you own. It handles sessions, social login, passwordless, MFA, and multi-tenancy. The core is Apache licensed. Some advanced features require checking the license file.
ZITADEL is the one built cloud-native from day one. It's written in Go, handles multi-tenancy and organization management natively, and is designed to run on Kubernetes with CockroachDB as storage. HPL 3.0, which is a clean license for self-hosting, copyleft only matters if you're building a product you sell on top of it. 14,000 stars and actively maintained.
Ory Kratos rounds out the list and has the most unconventional architecture. It's headless, it has no UI at all. It manages identities, login flows, and credential verification via API, and you build every UI on top of it. That means you control the exact look and logic of every screen. Apache 2.0. 13,700 stars.
Let's talk about who should not make this move, because there are real cases where staying on Auth0 is the right answer. If your team doesn't have anyone who can own infrastructure incidents at 2 in the morning, a self-hosted identity system is a liability, not an asset. Auth0's anomaly detection, breached password database, and bot detection have no mature OSS equivalents. And if your compliance posture requires a vendor SLA with a named security contact, Auth0 or Okta still serve that better than anything here.
When you do migrate, here's the playbook. Passwords are hashed and cannot be exported from Auth0. You'll need a password reset on first login for every user. That's the biggest migration gotcha and the reason a phased rollout beats a hard cutover. Export users and social connections via the Auth0 Management API, map them to your OSS Tools user schema, and test every auth flow, especially MFA enrollment, before cutting over.
How we ranked these: GitHub stars plus 90-day commit activity to filter out abandoned repos, the actual license and what it permits, protocol breadth covering what Auth0 covers, and an honest read on operational complexity. The full list stays updated as these projects push new releases, links in the description, and the comparison table there has more detail than we can fit in 12 minutes.
That's the 6. The decision comes down to your ops capacity, your compliance requirements, and how much of Auth0's managed layer you actually use versus what you're paying for. Full comparison table and migration notes at the link below. If this saved you a research sprint, subscribe. We cover one tool category like this every week.